so you can actually customize this to do what you want to do. For example, you can actually buy a modular flip screen if you happen to need that while you're filming. There are always a variety of stands and stabilizers to customize or fit to whatever surface you need to. So I think this is really the ideal solution for anyone who does an adventure sport, gets out and about often, and really wants to create some really cool video.
With all due respect to our amazing crew here in studio who are operating much bigger pieces of technology, this is almost like having a camera and a crew in your pocket. Absolutely amazing stuff. Are you lusting after something much? My word, this has just gone onto my Black Friday list. The GoPro Hero 8 is an incredible device and camera, and I think it's going to take your adventure to new heights as well, and you can capture it for the rest of us to see it. So to see it for yourself, go and check it out at a Dion Wired store near you and do it now. In fact, put it on your Christmas wish list right now.
Stream awesome. Fireplace.
Dion Wired, where humans go for technology.
That exciting world of content creation and the GoPro seems so exciting. But moving over to the world of gaming now, from the acclaimed video game developer Hideo Kojima, the mind behind the award-winning game Metal Gear 5, which everybody loves, comes his latest offering, Death Stranding. It's been teased for a couple of years now. It's finally here. It's out. It's been released. But does it live up to the hype? Will it meet your expectations? Tulu had a chat with Gareth Woods out in Joburg to find out. Let's check this out.
One thing for sure is that nothing tugs at your heartstrings more than a survival game. Add to that a post-apocalyptic setting and you sure have a winner. But does the highly anticipated game Death Stranding live up to its expectations? Well, we've got our resident gaming expert Gareth Woods here to find out. Gareth, let's jump straight into it. What is this game all about?
It's been one of those games where, as information has come out about it, we've almost known less the more we saw. So all the videos that came out, all the hype trailers, people were dissecting and going, what is it all about? The more they show us, the less we know. So the game really, what's happened is it's this post-apocalyptic, you're set in America, some sort of event has happened, but part of the struggle is trying to find out what exactly has happened. Your job as, Sam Porter Bridges, it's your name, and you are basically tasked with trying to reconnect America. So all the cities and towns have kind of been disrupted by this event, and you're a delivery boy, for lack of a better word, but you're connecting these kind of cities to what's called the chiral network to kind of reconnect them. While you do that, there are obviously people who stand in your way, other scavengers looking for resources, other factions who are trying to stop you and don't want America reconnected. Part of this, there's also some weird stuff happening. So the thing that caused the apocalyptic kind of event, it's also linked to death in some way. I'm trying to give as much information without spoiling it. But like, for example, there are these Death Stranding, these BTs they call them, and they're like these ghosts that hang around whenever kind of death happens. And your character has the ability to detect them. You can't really see them, but when you're near them, you kind of like can sense that they're around. So it makes for some really, really tense gameplay as you're moving around trying to avoid these ghosts. So let me just explain where we are at the moment. My character there, Sam, I'm trying to deliver some goods all the way over here to Port Knot City, but I've stopped in a rather precarious area here where there's some of these Death Stranding that you hear so much about. So those are the bad dudes. You see my little like umbrella thing, it's scanning them. As I get closer, it's gonna go like, hey, listen, you don't wanna be here. It's going faster and faster and faster. So I can kind of avoid that area. So I can do the scan every so often. That spots them for me. The problem with the scanning is any of the other bad guys, like the other humans, if I use the scan, they detect that on their radar. So I've had a situation where, for example, I'm trying to run away from these BTs and using the scan, but it's attracting other bad guys to me. So you've got to kind of balance all that. Okay, it looks like I'm in the clear if I head this way.
So what's your verdict out of 10? How much would you give it?
It's really hard to tell because it's one of those games that's probably closer to art than it is to an actual game. So for some context, Hideo Kojima, the guy who essentially has headed up the studio making this game, he used to work at Konami, who made some massive games, most famously the Metal Gear Solid franchise. And I'd always felt like they kind of kept his genius in check. So they kind of like took his mad rantings and they turned it into a game. Or you feel that now he's been unleashed from the studio and he's doing his own thing, that perhaps, you know, for some people are going, finally the genius unleashed, he can do what he wants. Other people are going, wow, Konami actually kept and packaged his madness and turned it into a product. And so a lot of people will go, it's art, it's beautiful, it's amazing, thank goodness he's been allowed to do what he wants to do in his vision. A lot of people are going, oh, it's a bit of a mess, it's all over the place, it's closer to art than it is to a game, so it's not actually fun. And so it's weird to give a verdict on it. If you're looking for something completely different, you're looking for something that's a little bit closer to art than a game, a real experience, I really give it a high score, something like an 8.5 and 9. If however you're looking for a fun game, something to just like spend some time, have a bit of fun, it's probably not the game you're going to enjoy. You know, rather stick something a little bit more casual. And so almost give it 2 scores, a 6 for casual gamers and like an 8.5, 9 for serious kind of connoisseurs of games.
And there you have it, guys. As you heard from Gareth himself, if you're looking for something simple and not too complicated like myself, then this game is definitely not for you. But if you're a connoisseur of games and looking for something challenging and more on the survival side of things, then Stranding will most definitely appeal to you.
Oh, well, if you are a big gamer, then you should check that one out, especially because it's received so much hype and excitement all over the social media, and the reviewers have also been going on about it. Gareth Woods is giving it a thumbs up, so...
something completely different. So maybe that's going into your Christmas stocking or under the tree this Christmas. Kim, welcome to the fold. As you can see, the festive kind of feels have grabbed our studio.
Great, yeah.
Are you one of those? Have you started your Christmas shopping? Not to make you nervous or anything, but...
No pressure.
Have you started shopping yet?
I'm going to be honest, no. I'm a last-minute person.
Oh, yeah, you and me.
Yeah.
Put it here, sister girl, yes.
I think most of us are. Brian, I didn't ask you earlier. Have you started? Because you seem pretty together.
Yeah, she does.
I'm glad I give that impression.
Yeah.
I've got a list, I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Although yesterday you did say to me you already started at the beginning of the year with some gifts for some of you.
What I normally do is I normally buy a couple of things at the start of the year and just...
Oh, really?
Look at that, like...
I like
Because he's
you.
thrifty. He's thrifty and he's organised. So we're going to be talking about instilling respect in your child. Respect me. Son, I want you to respect me. I think it's quite an interesting one. When do we begin that process? Is it through example? Can we teach it? How does it happen? We're going to be coming to grips with learning, departing that sense of respect in our children after the break.
Win a trip to London from the 12th to the 20th of November with Travel Start, Virgin Atlantic, and in the company of our local explorers, Danilo Acquisto and Akila Haron. Catch this travel fab duo on Expresso with their guide to the time of your life in London town. Vote for your favorite itinerary on the Travel Start website and put yourself in the draw for those 2 return tickets on Virgin Atlantic.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show on SABC3. Now, of course, as you can see, we are all in time for Festive. Now, Festive also means spending that money. And we asked you this morning if you already bought those Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
You said you were a last-minute shopper.
I definitely am. On Christmas Day in the morning, if they open till like 12 o'clock, I'll be there in the morning trying to get the gifts. I'm so bad. But of course, we seem to have given so many people lots of anxiety right now this morning. People just like going, oh no, we've asked about gifts. We've asked you on social media what you've done. Where are you in terms of your shopping? Here's Frank Margie Klutter, who sent us a comment here saying, I'm a pensioner, so I have to wait for payday and a few odd jobs here and there to help with Christmas shopping, but I'm getting there. Okay, Frank, you at least you're well on your way. You're getting there. You're getting there.
I think that's a lot of people's case. Like they wait till after payday, wait till the debit orders come off, and then they will start like buying. But Sinakaya Nkuna also said yes. Ooh, look at that. Even Christmas clothes for my little brother and sister are almost sorted. So, I mean, some people are very like
organized,
on it. Like if you're like Brian already in January, you got everything done.
Oh, yeah. Some people are good like that. That's an organized queen. Oh, Snikaya. Okay, here's a final one here. Chantel Fusher saying, good morning, Expresso team. Looking good in the red. That's you, basically, you and Graham in the red picture. I am the last-minute kind of shopper. You and me, Chantel, same WhatsApp group, exactly the same. Yeah. So why don't you let us know? What are you doing? What's your plan? Have you started thinking about it? Are you going to start thinking about it today? Are you going to start shopping today? When are you going to start? Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 with the hashtag Expresso Show. We want to hear from you.
So courtesy of our good friends at Dion Wired, we are taking a closer look at some of the hottest tech on the shelves at the moment, maybe to get you inspired for Christmas. So if you're itching for some new stuff this festive season, then buckle up and get ready to draw up that wish list, or extend it at least. And when it comes to music, I think there are two types of people, those who listen and those who make. And if you're one of those who loves to make music, create, and maybe dreams of becoming a DJ, then you need to have a DJ Pioneer Master Serato DJ Lite in your life. And here to tell us a little bit more about the slick music maker is our tech journalist, Brian Smith. Brian, thanks for sticking around, buddy. I'm like the least musical person on earth, but I got to play around when DJ Reddy D was here, and he allowed me to kind of play on his mixer, and it just dropped the seat. It was so much fun. But this particular, the DJ Pioneer Master Serato DJ Lite, when we talk about a light version, what does that mean?
So this is exactly the sort of unit that you want to buy if you're looking, as you say, to get into DJing or into
a great starter.
It's
cool.
Absolutely. So this is quite a budget-friendly offering, and it essentially has all of the controls and features that you really need to get to grips with DJing. And I think something that's really cool and not often spoken about is that this actually comes with a free copy of Serato DJ Lite, which is essentially a very lightweight computer application, which allows you to tether this to your computer and actually get to grips with mixing, fading, and organizing tracks all together. So this is essentially a set that's designed as your first foray into DJing.
How far do we take it? I mean, does the beginner model, do we have like the FX patterns and fades, and how far can we progress on a light version, something like this, as you say, an entry-level device?
So you've actually gotten a whole array of features. So not only do you have sort of full switches and fades as well, you've got a high and low pass filter, and you've actually got a number of scratches and fades that have been designed in collaboration with top DJs, which is really exciting.
Wow.
This unit, however, doesn't have the Dexter spin turntables as you might on more expensive rigs, but it does have touch-sensitive pads. So it does give you the full array to practice and get to grips before you go out and commit to buying different records, for example, to be able to scratch on set.
So you say it's no turntable, but it does have the pad scratch with multiple effects. How does this compare to the real thing, do you think?
So this is essentially your first step into this technology. So it's designed to get you sort of in line with the motions, and designed to help you not break your rhythm, essentially, when you're crossfading and moving between tracks. So although it's not the same experience as moving the full turntable itself, it's as close as you get on this budget model. And I think that's really friendly, because at a point, buying those records does become quite expensive.
Oh, no, completely. And getting the full setup is also really expensive. And this is, I think, economically a great way to enter the market. But let's be honest, as a beginner or a newbie in that space, this is going to have more than enough to help launch you on your way. And I like the fact that it comes with the software as well, so you can start getting into the mindset of a producer and start being creative in that space, not just about mastering the physical elements of it, but wrapping your head around the creative process as well. Absolutely amazing stuff. So not being the most musical person, this might not be on my wish list, but I would imagine a lot of you out there, this has sparked something big. And if you're a DJ, or maybe a DJ in the making and would love to get your hands on a DJ Pioneer Master Serato Lite, then you've got to go to your Dion Wired right now and go and maybe give it a test run for yourself. Go and practice a little bit of scratching there.
Well, we know that the festive season is all the talk and hype and excitement right now, and it's synonymous with food and eating and indulging. Everybody looks forward to all the Christmas food. In fact, it's not just on Christmas Day. I think from the time people step into December, we're already eating.
Hey, it like sets, I don't know what it is, like the energy is like, yes, you can just eat. It's like
eat
non-guilty calories, but it's not true because come January, we're
all crying. We're all crying.
We're writing down our list. What is your, what is that New Year's resolution? It's like to lose weight. Why? Because I was eating the whole festive season.
What is your eating like during the festive season?
Friend, I have braai for breakfast.
You have what?
Braai.
Like pap?
Like braai, like vlees. Like
every morning?
Like, I don't know. And then heiskos.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we'll make like a pot of food to last for like 2 days so they can just stretch. And then I will there be in the morning just like eating my quail course for breakfast because, you know, the calories don't count in festive. But we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, it's comforting to know I'm not the only one. But of course, we've got our health hacks coming through with Be Well and looking at how to make sure that you're managing your eating during the festive season without losing out on all the indulgence. We'll see you after this.
Guess what? Courtesy of Dion Wired, we have new prizes for you. Up for grabs is an Epson printer and Samsung tablet bundle, a Nintendo Switch Lite, and a super stylish Smeg toaster and kettle combo. Simply SMS the keyword Dion Wired, your name and email address to 33728 to win. Plus, when you SMS in, you are entered into the grand prize draw to win a Tech Dash in a Dion Wired worth 100,000 Rand. Winning has never been so easy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is, of course, your feel-good breakfast show. Now, I always want to sing this, like R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. Now, today, more than ever in South Africa, children are interacting with people of different races, religions, and cultures. Now, classrooms are becoming more diverse in appearance and thought. And today, family therapist and registered social worker, our favorite, Kim Abrams, joined us in the lounge to talk about the importance of teaching your child respect. It is a very... It's one of those, like, is it you? Is it your child? Like, how do you influence that? So it's a very broad topic today to speak about, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's got so many spheres to it. You know, it's about owning who you are as a person, as a parent, and then being able to instill that in your child, who's also developing as their own person. So it's a very difficult one.
It's a two-way flow, because maybe it happens on a... Obviously, there's the space where we're trying to instill this or teach respect. I don't know if it's taught or if it's instilled. That's the big thing here, but it's also what it can mean for their future success, like any social skill, being able to respect your elders, being able to respect other cultures in a workspace, your boss, other opinions, all of these kind of tie into that. So in your mind, because this does become quite a personal thing, what is the value of respect?
So I think, you know, it's about who you are as a person. It's about your own morals and values that you hold within yourself. And it's about the ability to see yourself outside of who you are and take into account other people's experiences and who they are as individuals. So the value of it, you know, I think it's about developing empathy, you know, and being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and being able to take on board constructive criticism without losing your temper. And it's such an easy thing to say, but it also makes you a bit more likable in terms of, you know, social settings where you do sometimes have to conform.
Also, it could make you more successful. When we look at the more successful people in life, they tend to be the more open-minded. Those that do work well with others know how to kind of, you know, make other people feel better about themselves, which, but these are all quite complex things, which I think adults still struggle with. How do you then instill that in a child?
So, you know, with children, I think the most important thing to understand is that they are learning. So sometimes, you know, being a parent is so much pressure. You know, you feel like you're putting so much time, energy, money into your child, and so we almost automatically want them to respect us. But it doesn't work like that, because they didn't ask to come here. They have to learn this value. So instilling it in your child is really about modeling this behavior to them and ultimately respecting them. So this is like often a difficult one for parents, because you're not undermining yourself as an authority figure by respecting your child, but they must, in order to understand the concept, they must be able to see you implement it and act it out.
Absolutely. Now, in your opinion, what would you say respect is, and what is characteristics of respect?
So respect, you know, definitely is being able to see someone else's opinions, being able to take on board constructive criticism. But, you know, how you instill it, it is about practice. It's learning patience. These are the characteristics. It's being someone who's patient, someone who's often honest about their feelings, but able to put it forward in a way that doesn't cause harm to the other person. And it's the same when you're parenting. When you're disciplining your child, it's about teaching them. It's not about punishing them. So this is often where you can bring your child on board, depending on their age, and help them to understand perhaps why their behavior wasn't acceptable and what they could do differently. That's how children start to learn, oh, okay, there's someone else or something else outside of me that I need to take into account.
Is this a lifelong practice? Is it something we can start actively trying to instill in our children at an early age? Typically, when does a child start to develop a sense of respect?
You know, from about 3 or 4, you want your child to be able
So before that, they're just disrespectful.
Well, before that, they're at a developmental age where it's all about them. They can't.
I'm changing your nappy. That's respect, okay?
You know, we can't demand it for them. So it's also about, you need to get to know your child as they're growing up. So a 2-year-old is not going to display respectful behavior because they're not in the developmental phase where they even know how to do it, because it's all about them. That's where they are at. But as they start to get to about primary school age, you know, that's when you want the child to have, it's about good manners. You know, it's about the child being able to say, I'm sorry, when they've done something and you've called them out on it. But it's also about the parent being able to say, I'm sorry, if you've done something that was quite punitive and in a punishing way, because this is about teaching your child. Because we often equate respect with putting fear into our child so that they respect us, and it doesn't work like that. Your child just ends up
And it's not just based on authority, but I really am picking up that empathy seems to be the key component here, the emotional component.
Absolutely.
Or perhaps you've got some great advice on how you have instilled respect in your child, or maybe what it means to you to be respected and how that's enhanced your relationship with your little one. You can share with us on our social media platforms.
Ooh, all about the RESPECT. Now we're heading towards the holiday season, moving over from that conversation on respect, but very much looking forward to celebrating with loved ones and enjoy lots of festive food. We have Megan here discussing healthy eating over the festive season. Megan, good morning.
Hello.
It's so good to have you here. But
thank you.
Healthy eating during the festive season, during the holidays, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I mean, is it even possible to eat healthy during the holiday season, Megan?
Well, Well, you know what? Did you know that the research shows that about 2 kilogram weight gain happens with most of us over the festive season, and that's a period of about 2 to 3 weeks. Sure. So that's quite a lot of weight.
Sure, that's okay. So, but is it possible to even eat healthy during that period then?
Well, yeah, there's some really good ideas that I can perhaps just like share with you.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that one of the first things you can do is when you go to any type of function, choose a smaller plate. And what's great about that...
Okay.
And don't go back multiple times.
Okay.
But a smaller plate, actually, your brain detects that it feels fuller with a smaller plate. So you can actually change that. So this is you're not going to feel deprived at all. A smaller plate helps, and so that would be my recommendation to start with.
Okay, so smaller plates, guys, and also just like one small plate, not like one small plate multiplied by 5, because then that defeats the purpose. But then I think we feel entitled to indulge during the festive season. I mean, the year has been long for most people. It doesn't do us any favors to then gain unnecessary weight and have to then struggle with getting back to normal weight in Jan when we're done with the festive season, does it?
Yeah, no. So, you know, what happens usually over that period in particular is that we tend to indulge in snacks. Now, there's nothing wrong with snacking. In actual fact, we advise it. But at that time, we tend to walk with our trolleys and add in the chips and the chocolates because they're on special and they look fabulous. And so let me rather suggest that when you go and you get something for the household, for guests that are staying with you, choose your fresh fruit, your fresh veggies, which are great because they're all in season, and then go for things like yogurt and nuts and have those available to snack on in between. You're just going to feel so much better and you're going to be able to cope. And one thing that I'd really like to recommend is we have our Smart Choice Be Well cookbook, which is downloadable online for free. And what you can do is we've actually partnered with Cancer and Be Well, and there's a recipe in there, and it's a beetroot hummus recipe. Now, if there's something really yummy to have with some crackers, then I'd like to recommend you to try that.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about our treats. How do we manage our treats? They're going to pop up at parties everywhere you go. On Christmas, outside of Christmas, every single place you turn, there's going to be lots of treats. What's your advice for finding a perfect balance with eating healthy and that occasional indulgence?
Absolutely. So we are going to have treats. You're quite right. What my recommendation would be is choose carefully, look at your portion control. So don't choose a lot and decide on something specifically that you want. And if you actually combine it, be it ice cream or whatever, chocolate, combine it with making sure that you, over this festive season, exercise regularly. So you exercise portion control and you're exercising regularly. And what you're going to find from that is you're not going to have the problem with, extra weight gain and getting into the new year feeling good and healthy as well.
It says here, work for your treats, exercise and be disciplined with sweets. So for every bowl of treats and all of those things, maybe do a kilometer's worth of running, right? Megan, absolutely wonderful having you here, giving us some of these tips that are going to help us keep our bodies in shape throughout the festive season and beyond. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Well, I think the overall message is balance, finding balance and more mindful festive eating. If you want some recipe ideas, do go onto the Be Well website and download their free Smart Choice cookbook. It's amazing. You will definitely find some inspiration over there.
Show that there's a glass and a half in everyone by lighting up the faces of orphaned and vulnerable children this festive season. Donate your pre-loved toys, books or games at the Cadbury Dairy Milk Generosity at the Tiger Valley Shopping Centre in Cape Town between the 26th of November to the 2nd of December. You could also donate your pre-loved or new toys at selected Toys R Us stores or online at toysrus.co.za.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live right here on SABC3. It's a beautiful Tuesday. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us. It's that time of the morning where we take a moment to celebrate your birthday. If you sent in a message for your loved ones, hopefully a video, we're going to be wishing them a happy birthday right now. Who have we got?
I think you should start first.
Okay, well, we have a video. It came through. It's for Elisio Moses and Hapimbe. It was sent by his children via WhatsApp. It's a big one. It's a 50th birthday celebration. Let's hear what they have to say to us.
Hi, Expresso Show. We would like to wish our daddy happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Daddy. Happy birthday to you.
Beep, beep.
Hooray!
Beep, beep.
Hooray!
Oh, man, that is just so beautiful. All of the love. Happy birthday, Elisio Moses and Hapimbe on your 50th. What a beautiful one. We've got another video. This one is to Katrina. It's her 74th birthday. This one is sent by on WhatsApp by Simone, Mervyn, and grandchildren. Let's take a look.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Thanks to our boy. Bless you always. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, man, so cute.
that was
I
so
just
cute.
want to hold her and kiss her forehead and say thank you, baby.
Listen, let's get right into it. Of course, we're also wishing Sam Raju Pillay a happy 50th birthday, the big 5-0. May God bless you. Love you lots from Claudia, Sean, Shane, Joel, Tristan, Brenton, and Ram. As well as to Sherilyn, wishing my granddaughter a happy 14th birthday. May you be the sweet, kind, caring, and giving person one could ask for. Love you to the moon and back from your Grams, Mervyn, Mom, Lolly, and siblings. Look at that. Snapchat.
Beautiful, beautiful. Here's one for Lydia Latifa. It says, happy 4th birthday to our little princess Lydia Latifa Hassan. Have a lovely day. We love you lots and lots from your mum and dad. Happy birthday, cute girl. And here's one for Stanley. I wish my wonderful uncle a very happy and blessed birthday from Rainy, Judy, and the Robenheimer family. Lots of love to you, Stanley Robenheimer, on your birthday, uncle.
Happy birthday. And then to our only baby girl, Dia Jal. A long life friendship built on sharing hugs and kisses, but mother and daughter, their hearts as one. A link that can never be undone. Oh, love that. Wishing you a happy birthday. Love from Mom Vaneshi. What a beautiful...
It's like a poem. It's beautiful. I love it.
Poet, and I didn't even know it. And then to Calvin Peterson, a happy, blessed 50th birthday. To my husband, may the next 50 be better than the first, from your wife, Rosaline, children and grandchildren.
And here's one for Cleveland James Dean. It says, I wish my boy, Cleveland James Dean, a happy 14th birthday. Will always be Pa Seklong from your Cedric Dean and sisters, Chloe and Claire. Happy birthday, Cleveland. And Cheryl Solomon, happy 61st birthday, Mom. Cheryl Solomon, may the Lord grant you many more years, many more happy years at that. Stay as loving the person as you are. We love you lots. This is from your children and your grandchildren. They love you. Happy birthday.
Hey, and another one, like DJ Khaled would say, a birthday shout out to our loving and funny daughter and sister Chloe Darmons on her 13th birthday. Have a fabulous day. Love from your mommy Chantal, daddy Leon, sister Lauren, and brother Corbin. And then lastly, we have a 15th birthday to Selo Mokekle. Am I saying it right?
Selo Mokekle. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
May you receive more blessings. I love you, Kazan.
Beautiful stuff. Well, that's where we leave it for now this morning. If you're celebrating your birthday, happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday.
you.
Happy birthday.
But if you know anyone celebrating their birthday, well, Jamie Lee shimmies off away in a shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Please send us those WhatsApps. We're on standby to get them at 071-640-6551. Sing a song or something, a trio, a duo, something. Do something special for your loved one. But of course, you can also still send us those emails, birthdays@kadova.tv. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday.
Just a little bit of a pop this morning. A pop of respect is what we are looking for. Just show me some respect, child. Respect me. Now, we are talking about the importance of instilling a sense of respect in our children. And how do we go about doing that? And we've got our family therapist and registered social worker, Kim Abrams, with us. And we've already, I think, honed in on the fact that respect is a sense of empathy, but it's quite a complex thing. So I'm going to put it to you in this way. Do we need our child to understand what respect is for them to start being respectful? At what stage should we have that conversation and be overt about it? Or should we just assume that they are going to pick up on our cues and kind of emulate the way that we are?
Okay, so
it's a difficult one.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but with respect, this is about teaching. So don't take it for granted that they will just pick it up and it will come naturally, because this is a learned behavior. It's about, you know, empathy is sometimes also something we have to learn, and we can only often do that through having difficult experiences. So when it comes to your child, you know, it's about using their behavior and trying, especially if it's behavior that is not conforming to your discipline technique. So if they're throwing a tantrum, for example, so let's say your 2-year-old or 3-year-old throwing a tantrum, and then it's about using that moment to teach them, okay, so if they were throwing a tantrum because they wanted something, how can you ask me for that toy in a nicer way? Let's just say they were demanding a toy. It's these little things that children start to understand, okay, I need to actually address people in a certain manner when I want something or when I have to ask for something. So that's a small example of doing it, but it does require a lot of patience as a parent, because it's practice all the time. And it's also about owning what you are bringing to the table as a parent, also how you interact with the child's other parent if they are, you know, involved, because your child is watching all of this.
We've had a comment come through that I want to quickly hone in on. Bradley Johansson, thank you so much. And he had this to say: teaching your children respect starts with you as an adult. Children are the greatest imitators. Nail on the head. Children do as we do and not what we say. So once you as an adult show respect to others, they will also follow. Hashtag respect others, their time and their belongings as the way you want to be respected.
That's lovely, and that's exactly what it is. It's about owning also what you're bringing to the table. You also have to have self-respect as a parent, you know, and as an individual, in order to know how to instill it into your child. So as long as you also feel firm and strong in your morals and values and what you want to bring your child up in, that helps you to help them to understand respect and what it means to value other people as well. Yeah.
Now, we're speaking a lot about the respect, but also now I want to speak about the disrespect thereof, because I remember growing up, your parent would give you that look like, luister, kind, like, no,
cross the line,
you know what I mean? So then how do you then, like, reprimand or then teach or, you know, just like reprimand them if they are disrespectful?
Yeah, so the most important thing is try to keep your cool, because the minute you start escalating the situation with your child and shouting back, they just end up watching you, you know, and then they start learning, okay, I'm a bit scared. Yeah. And so disrespectful behavior must always be addressed. That's not to say that if you teach your child how to be respectful, it's going to be smooth sailing. It's not. This is going to be ongoing until they reach adulthood.
I mean, even we as adults sometimes battle to be respectful.
Absolutely. So this, in terms of helping them to understand better ways to cope, it's also helping them to understand how to express their feelings, how to ask for what it is that they need. So if I feel sad, then perhaps I need a hug. So it's about taking the child's behavior and reflecting it back to them. So, you know, and it's okay to say to your child, if they're being disrespectful to you, that's not how we work in this family. In this family, we all respect each other, and that means talking to each other nicely and asking for things nicely. But it starts from when the child is young, because it gets harder the older they get, because they have a lot more outside influences from school and from peers. So it's about starting as early as possible.
Well, the joy of it is the child below the age of 6 has 60% more of its brain and its neurons to use as well. So don't respect that. Respect that the fact that your child can do a huge amount, that they can learn, lay that framework. But I think the best part about this conversation is you are creating an emotional being, a more stable emotional being, which is what we all want for our children.
And now time for us to take a look at those news headlines. We start off here in South Africa, where 50-year-old Andre de Ruyter, current CEO of Nampak, has been appointed as the new chief executive of Eskom and will assume his duties on the 15th of January. The Ministry of Public Enterprises announced yesterday. He worked for Sasol for some 20 years in a number of senior management roles and holds LLB and MBA degrees from UNISA and Pretoria University, respectively. De Ruyter was chosen from 142 candidates by a team of cabinet ministers appointed appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa. He replaces former CEO Pagamani Hadebe, who stepped down in July, citing health concerns. South African Airways said yesterday it would resume flights to 6 African destinations today, as not all unions and union members had joined the strike over wages currently in its 4th day. Hundreds of flights had to be cancelled since the strike began on Friday, and the stoppage is costing 50 million rand per day. The airline said it would rebook passengers on regional routes that remained affected, while domestic passengers would continue to be transferred to sister airlines Mango and SA Airlink. International flights were operating on schedule. In international headlines, a 2-year-old lion, which was reportedly being used to guard a house in Lagos, Nigeria, has been removed by authorities. A team from the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation and Special Offences Unit located the animal after residents filed a petition to the State Ministry of Environment. A creche and elementary school stand opposite the house, and the school's management said it feared for the children's safety. The owner of the animal has been instructed to report to the police or face arrest. Star rugby player 30-year-old Israel Folau has drawn anger for linking Australia's bushfire crisis to the nation's same-sex marriage and abortion laws. Folau, who was sacked by Australian rugby in May for making anti-gay remarks on social media, described the fires as a little taste of God's judgment. 6 people have died since last month in blazes raging in Eastern Australia. Prime Minister Scott Morrison condemned Folau's remarks as appallingly insensitive. Folau is suing Rugby Australia over his dismissal, claiming his contract was unlawfully terminated due to his religious beliefs. And finally, a 9-year-old child prodigy in Belgium, Lawrence Simmons, is due to obtain an electrical engineering degree at Eindhoven University of Technology next month. Professor Sjoerd Holshoff, Education Director, has described the boy as extraordinary and, quote, the fastest student we have ever had at the university. His parents, both doctors, have no explanation as to why their child prodigy is capable of learning so quickly. Mom, Lydia, jokes it is because she was addicted to fish during her pregnancy. Dad, Alex, says that he is just a normal child who loves romping with his dog, Sammy, and playing on his phone. However, unlike most 9-year-olds, he has already worked out what he wishes to do with his life, study medicine next, and then develop artificial organs. That's where we leave it for now. Here's Graham with a look at your sport.
Thanks so much, T. Let's start with rugby. Rugby World Cup winning fly-off Handré Pollard has bid farewell to the Bulls after 7 years with the club, departing for France, where he'll join the French top 14 team, Montpellier. So in April, it was announced that the 25-year-old will be joining the French outfit on a contract valued at 20 million rand a year. Montpellier is currently 7th on the top 14 standings as we speak. Then on to football. It's a big one. South Africa will face Egypt in their CAF Under-23 semi-final match at the Cairo Stadium tonight. A win for David Notwane's team will automatically earn them a place in next year's Tokyo Summer Olympic Games. So only the top 3 finishers in the competition will receive automatic qualification for the Olympic showpiece. South Africa finished 2nd in Group B and Egypt topping Group A. So the match will kick off at 8 p.m. this evening. Then on to tennis. What a couple of weeks we've had. World number 6, Stefanos Tsitsipas, came from a set down to beat Austrian Dominic Thiem 6-7, 6-2, 7-6 to become the youngest ever winner of the ATP finals in 18 years. So the 21-year-old Greek held his nerve in the thrilling final set tiebreak to win the biggest title of his career, undoubtedly. On Saturday, Tsitsipas broke the hearts of many in London when he knocked out 6-time champion Roger Federer. Then some interesting news in motorsport. MotoGP world champion Marc Marquez's Moto2 title-winning brother Alex will now make his Premier Class debut in 2020 as his Repsol Honda teammate in the place of the triple world champion Jorge Lorenzo, who of course announced his retirement last week. So Alex Marquez took the Moto2 title in his 5th season in the division, having previously won the Moto3 back in 2014. And big brother Marc won his 6th MotoGP championship, of course, this year. Going to be a very potent team, and that's where we leave our sport for now.
Thank you so much, G-Man, for that. Let's take a first look at what's happening on the roads. In Gauteng, Soweto, there's a protest action at Protea Glen between Wild Chestnut Road and the R558. Please avoid the area and use an alternative route this morning via Protea Glen Mall. Now in Gauteng, Stranding Park on the N1 northbound, there's been a truck accident after Malibongwe Drive, obstructing 4 lanes. Heavy delays can be expected. Please consider avoiding the highway for the time being. Now on the Metro Rail Northern Line, following recent damages to and tampering with essential infrastructure at Kuils River and Somerset West, the train service on the Stroud-Mildersvlei lines has resumed. Please allow for an extended travel time of 20 to 30 minutes. That was a first look at what's happening on the roads. Let's take a look at what's happening in the weather. It, of course, is a beautiful Tuesday morning, and we have asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Temkosi Sitole sent us this beautiful sunrise from Johannesburg, where mainly cloudy conditions can be expected with a shower or thunderstorm around, and in the afternoon and evening reaching a maximum of 27 degrees. Now, Louise Cherry also sent us the spectacular sunrise picture from Blue Hills in Midrand, where times of clouds and sun can be expected with a couple of showers and a strong thunderstorm reaching a maximum of 27 degrees. Now let's take a look at the rest of the country, starting off in Polokwane with occasional rain ranging from 18 to 29, Umbombela with a low of 20 and a high of 33. Thunderstorms can also be expected for Pretoria ranging from 16 to 29, and a couple of showers for Johannesburg with a low of 15, a maximum of 27. Thunderstorms are also expected for Mahikeng with a low of 19 and a high of 32, and occasional rain for Klerksdorp reaching a low of 18 and a high of 31. A northwesterly wind of 28 kilometers per hour is expected for Kimberley, ranging from 14 to 33, Bloemfontein 13-32, Richards Bay 18-27, and heavy rainfall for UP to Maritzburg with a low of 14 and a high of 25, so make sure to stay indoors today. A couple of showers for Durban with a low of 18 peaking at 24, heavy rainfall expected from Tata with a low of 10 and a high of 19. A southwesterly wind of 26 kilometers per hour for US London with a low of 14 peaking at 22, Craddock 6-28, and high humidity for PE Port Elizabeth with a low of 13 and a maximum of 21. George 10-20, and the lowest temperature in the country is for you Sutherland with an all low of 4 and a high of 22, so make sure to wear that sweater today. The mother city Cape Town with a low of 14 and a high of 20, Worcester 8-25, Springbok 12-28, and the highest temperature in the country is for you Uppington with a low of 19 and 34. That was a look at what's happening in the temperature, and we'll be back a little bit later with a much more extensive look at the weather.
Oh, the funny people I work with, man. Thank you. I bless both of you. Bless you.
Bless you.
No, bless you, you wonderful human being.
And you guys.
And you guys at home. Thank you so much. I'm feeling low this morning. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the biorhythms. Sis Princess, I need a little something.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have something for you.
Oh, please.
It's gonna be like fresh and no. I see you sick when today.
I'm sick.
I'm
He's
giving you the
been very
medicine.
under the weather.
Thank you so much.
You know, I'm going to out you here completely. You know that he was asleep literally 20 seconds before we went on air this morning.
Guys, you need to look after yourselves. Medicate.
Cheers. Bottoms up.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thank you, Princess.
Wow, wonderful! I'm alive! I have been healed! See you after the break!
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McAfee, great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
There's nothing smoother than winning when you buy Tropica. Buy any size and your favorite flavor of Tropica in fresh or long life. Find the unique code behind the label or the sticker. Then follow the entry details on the pack and you could win daily prizes of airtime, cash, LG Q60 smartphones, 55-inch LG UHD smart artificial intelligence digital TVs, steam dishwashers,
Caribbean tan hampers, or guest watches. That's more than 100,000 prizes.
Tropica, nothing smoother.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're about to get your Just Rewards with some inspiration. The Elim Night Shelter in Elsie's River in Cape Town here in the Mother City is an organisation catering specifically for the homeless and destitute. They've been operating incredibly for 22 years now, so they know the space well. The name Elim, in fact, is derived from a passage in the Bible relating to an oasis in the wilderness with the same name. That kind of allows us to wrap our head around what exactly they mean for their community. And it's the shelter that has been striving to offer that kind of oasis to, I think, many homeless and helpless people since 1997. And we have in studio now, as we move into the festive season, to just activate what it means to be vulnerable at this time of the year, two driving forces behind this incredible organization. We are joined by Shafiq and Lisa Ortel from Elim to, I think, open a window into a world that all of us see, but very few of us actually take cognizance of.
That's right.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for doing what you do. I know this validation must come in many forms, but there must be a reason why you do what you do. For the uninitiated, I'd call it a shelter, but I think falls probably horribly short of what it is that you actually do. So, Shafiq, maybe you can explain what the Elim Shelter actually does.
Elim Night Shelter, what we do is we create a safe haven for people to come to. Those come off the street or wherever they come from, whether it's divorces or bad business decisions made, they end up homeless. So we offer them a bed, a shelter, a shower, 3 meals a day, and our clients can stay up to 6 months. We're there to give them, we give them not a second chance, we give them another chance. That's what we do. And we walk with them in that, getting their lives back in order, and then try to reintegrate back into society or to reunify them with their families in that 6 months.
I'm taking a breath just hearing you say this, because in principle it sounds amazing. You want to at first be there just to address the pain, but to start that process of rehabilitation that is incredibly difficult. Where does it begin?
Okay, we try and help them in challenges in areas where there's most challenges, and then we also want to create a safe space for them, and just shower them with lots of love and the reassurance that they're going to be okay. And then we also refer them to our social worker, which also helps them with certain areas.
It's such a complex space to work in because you're dealing with individuals and each with their own very complex set of challenges. We know that certainly in the context of the Western Cape, alcoholism is a massive, massive exacerbator of that. But what would you say is your biggest challenge? Is there something that every day you have to marshal that strength for? Is it just a myriad of things?
We're having 80 clients living at the shelter. We have 80 different personalities. And one thing we do is, in our rules, we said things like you're not allowed to swear. And that small thing makes a big difference. We have less arguments, less fighting, and actually we don't have any arguments or fighting at the shelter because of respect for each other. And everybody knows what they're actually what they're doing there, trying to better their lives. And we have they respect each other in the shelter. And that's amazing for us. And yeah, that's what...
I think, and being able to take that first step once you are feeling respect and feeling respect for yourself.
Absolutely.
It's probably one of the big first steps in the right direction. The one question that keeps ringing through my head, why? Why do you guys do this? You could be doing anything, but you have chosen to live in a selfless way. Why? What motivates both of you?
Let me share with you. In 2009, I found myself to be homeless. I used to be a police detective, worked as an investigator at the casino, and petrified of what I'm going to find at the shelter, just to find normal people there, people that need another chance. And this is why we are there, to give them that opportunity, to love them, to give that back, that respect, that dignity that's been lost. And that's why we're there, and it's a calling. We couldn't do anything else.
It was always meant to be. How can we help you? The festive season is around the corner, and that could be a very negative time for someone who has nothing. What do you guys need, and how can we help you?
Okay, are you going to do that one?
Yeah, we encourage the community out there to do the Santa shoe boxes, you know, with the toiletries and little gift for our clients. And not just Elim Night Shelter, there are so many shelters out there, old age homes. We encourage the community to go out there and actually visit these places, see what the need is. There is such a big need. That's a lonely time of year. And our guys just need to be encouraged and go into those shelters, go and speak to them and find out what the need is. That's I'd like to.
Just to open up your mind, I think we can all do with being a lot less judgmental.
That's right.
And I think that's very much at the heart of what you do. Lisa, maybe I can put this to you to round us off. Right now, there are people, they might not be at the point of being homeless, but they could be going through an incredibly difficult time and feeling like there isn't hope. What do you say to the people who come through your doors? What do you say to those people right now that are going through that?
Well, normally I would say that God is your source, and this, just to believe in themselves, you know, to encourage them that everything is going to be okay. And then I firmly believe that there's beauty in the chaos. So if you're broken, you can be fixed. You know, it's entirely up to you how you want to deal with it. But I encourage them and I tell them you can do this. You get up, you dress up, and you show up. That is what I normally tell my girls, and I love them to bits.
I can see that. Now, I'm feeling the emotion here. You work in quite an incredible space, doing amazing things for amazing people, and everyone has that spark in them. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing. We're going to have all of your details up on all of our social media platforms. elimnightshelter.org.za is where you can go to get a broader scope of what the shelter does and what they need, their wish list, and I can guarantee you there is a company out there that can provide infrastructure or something, maybe cash. Everyone needs the money, but also as an individual, there might be an opportunity for you to really improve someone's life. And that is what the festive season is all about.
How inspiring. I mean, it's hitting in the feels, but so beautiful. But however, on a lighter note, it is the Festive, and that song is always like, last Christmas. Again, it doesn't sound like that. But anyway, it serves as the inspiration for the latest holiday film coming to cinemas next Friday, the 29th of November. And as I said, it's also called Last Christmas. Now, written by the fabulous Emma Thompson and also stars herself, Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, and Michelle Yeoh. It tells the story of Tom and Kate, who have a fateful meeting a year after Kate has an emergency heart transplant. Now, the blooming friendship and a potential romance inspires Kate to become more caring and compassionate and try to help as many people as she can. Let's take a look at it.
Oh, it sounds like such a beautiful story. I'm Tom.
Kate.
Here we are.
Is this the bit where you murder me?
So what is it that you do?
I sing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Anyway, boring, boring, boring.
I'm not bored.
You are so strange. Where are you going?
When there?
Well, you're not homeless.
No, I volunteer here.
Why didn't you just get Satan tattooed on your forehead?
You were great at your job when you started, but now it's like you don't care anymore.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Can I help?
I'm a mess. I was really sick and I nearly died. I don't tell people because they get weird, but I don't think you'll get weird.
No.
I'm just scared all the time. They just expect me to be normal and get on with life.
There's no such thing as normal. Just being a human being is hard. Maybe you should do something nice for someone.
Deck the halls with bells of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly.
Oh boy.
I've been volunteering at the shelter.
Seriously?
That sounds like a healthy choice. What's wrong with you?
I've been trying to find you, but you keep disappearing. And then when I do bump into you, accidentally, I might add.
It wasn't accidental.
Why me?
It's always going to be you. You like? You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. You're made of everything you do.
You can't be in here! No, we're leaving!
Oh, man, it seems like such a feel-good
It
Christmas
does.
film. I love these movies that come out during the festive season. Now, this one is set in London. The film focuses on finding it within yourself to open your heart up despite what hardships come your way. Now, enjoy this movie with your loved ones by entering our exciting competition to win double tickets to an exclusive pre-screening of the film in either Johannesburg's The Zone in Rosebank or Cape Town's Cavendish Square or Durban's Gateway Theatre of Shopping next week, Thursday, the 28th of November at 8 p.m. And what you need to do is SMS the keyword movie, your full name and city in which you reside, limited to Joburg, Cape Town and Durban, of course, to 33728 to be entered into a random draw.
Absolutely. And then you will receive 2 tickets, complimentary popcorn, because I'm all about the popcorn, and cold drink for viewing experiences. Now, of course, SMSs cost R1.50 and no free SMSs apply. T's and C's do apply and can be found at expressoshow.com. You know what? I'm actually...
Sing that song again.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Keep singing. No, keep singing, man. We love it. After that... I bet you can sing. I bet you can sing.
It away.
Oh, he's got some beautiful bass there. I'll go caroling with you.
This year.
Sing it, man.
Save
Sing
me
it.
from tears.
I'm dying to... I know, he's pretty good, eh? I'm dying to ask you about Last Christmas, but we've got some other movies to get into. Mr. JP Sebastian.
Hello.
Has a lot of fun tracking some of those trailers that might excite us, and you have got 2 very different films here. The first, Weathering with You.
You're wearing the perfect socks for the movies I'm talking about today. 4 animations, and Weathering with You...
Is it an animated film?
Is Japan's official submission for consideration by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, or the Oscars as people
Anime.
And yes, it's an anime. The last one that they submitted was 20 years ago, Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki.
Which was amazing.
A masterpiece. Anything by Ghibli is a masterpiece.
Yeah, no, for
this,
sure.
however, is not Ghibli. It's a guy named Makoto Shinkai.
Makoto Shinkai.
And previously he did The Place Promised in Our Earlier Days. He did another one called 5 centimeters per second. And all of these movies are really like, as well as being super schmaltzy, they're like really melancholic and heavy. But all I want you to focus on here is we won't have to get into the story so much. Look at those visuals.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say it's like art
mostly hand-drawn, which is really hard to get our brains around these days because most everything that we watch is CG.
Yeah.
But these people chose to make a movie about rain and then hand-drew each raindrop, which kind of blows my mind. So I suppose I should tell you a bit about the story as well. What you're looking at there is a young lady who has the special power of being able to control the weather. Tokyo, for reasons including climate change, which the movie is obviously alluding to, is suffering just a deluge, just non-stop rain, and she has this ability to clear the clouds and make the sun come out, but at what cost? The trailer reveals in this new English version of the movie now being exported to the United States.
When you say English version, dubbed? Or subtitled?
We don't know any details about if anyone will be given voice to it, although I think it will stay in Japanese because it's out in America in February, so it's a very short time to, bring on your Westerners the voicing, so it will just be subtitled. I'm not a huge fan of his storytelling necessarily because it's like
can be quite cheesy.
Teen romance, and it's supposed to feel like, oh, the world makes or breaks whether I, date this girl who is my first kiss, or
So it can be quite schmaltzy, as you say, but it looks visually...
I mean, we just spoke about Last Christmas, and people do like a bit of schmaltzy romance now and then.
We need it, man. We need it, and we certainly need to be thinking about climate change, so I get that. That's
All that aside, look at these visuals. Good grief. People still hand-draw things. They're maniacs. And look at the fluidity of this action, for example.
Sorry, the soundtrack is just offsetting everything. It does feel really like schmaltzy anime, as opposed to like Ghost in the Shell anime,
Or Neon Genesis.
But really beautiful visual
Apparently
experience.
Driving people at festivals all over the world, including it was Toronto International Film Festival, to tears.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay, cool.
Maybe it is quite moving, and I think it's probably a good change from the previous schmaltzy things that I've seen him do.
Okay, well done, Makoto Shinkai. Now let's move over to something very American. Will it be schmaltzy? I don't know, but it will have lots of American accents. Sonic the Hedgehog, very quickly.
A lot of emotion, obviously. So when the first trailer came out, I couldn't hear any of the voice actors behind this over my shrieking of fear, along with millions of other people who could not stomach what was being presented to them by the studio. Sonic has had an overhaul. He was hideous. He was an aberration in every holy book. He's the apocrypha. He's not to be spoken about, the previous version of him. So they've remodeled him, and he looks more like the video game. Why was it so hard to get this design right in the first place? If anyone thinks I'm insane, try and look for the original trailer. It looks like bad taxidermy, like someone pulled a plastic packet over a skeleton.
It's got a kind of almost a live action feel to it, so this is very CG.
Yes. Nothing will be hand-drawn in here. So this is pretty much a rehash of the original trailer that we did see earlier in this year in May, but it's just as an apology apology, like, we made a big mistake. We had to fork over 70 million rand to try and fix this character that we totally messed up. That even the original creators, I think, were even driven to tears that they made this abomination of a Sonic originally, but it looks a lot better. I think, though, that now that the character is, like, on point, I'm listening to the voice actors, and I don't know why. Oh, yes, Jim Carrey, there's your favorite.
Is it? Yeah, is he the bad guy?
He is Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Robotnik, as Sonic cleverly calls him.
The government.
Yes, look at that scream. Gorgeous. Jim Carrey.
James, I love James Marsden as well. No, it looks cool, man. It looks cool, and Sonic does look like you say. He's going to stand up to a very proud,
like the
iconic
thing that you
tradition
saw
of the game.
on those
Yeah,
old Mega Drive boxes. Like the previous design, awful. This is a step in the right direction. That will be next year, 20th of February. Yeah, in SA.
Something nice to look forward to. More movies to look forward to with JP in a mo.
That is very gross.
Cute, man.
Whatever this creature is.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We will turn your guilt trips into good trips. Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstart.co.za.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's inspire you to go out and explore our country. We have, obviously, the iconic Table Mountain, the unspoiled coastlines of the Eastern Cape. The Wild Coast is amazing. The dramatic Drakensberg Mountains and a wealth of wildlife, probably our greatest natural asset. South Africa is blessed with an assortment of places and activities to meet just about everyone's dream holiday expectations. So stick around. Don't leave the country. Explore your own backyard. Linda Baum and Cindy Jinker now join us this morning to encourage all South Africans to experience our hidden gems, the light of South Africa's tourism short left campaign. And of course, we are promoting local travel because local is lekker. And of course, we can all become tourists in our own country. What better way to explore our own land, man? And our friends at Travel Starts and Roots Africa Tours this December holiday are making it really, really easy. You are pumped, man. Linda, you are like,
Can you see it? Can you see it?
Come on.
You know, I mean, I can talk about the world, but nothing makes me as excited as talking about South Africa.
And you can talk about the world with authority because you've travelled a lot of the world.
Yes.
Why is South Africa so awesome, and why should we be promoting amongst ourselves travelling in South Africa, do you think?
Look, to be honest, as you say, we've travelled the world, but there's no place more beautiful than home. I mean, when you are flying in over Cape Town or the Kruger or something, and you're like, yes, we're back. And it is, you know, it's amazing. And I just really want to give full thumbs up to everything that South African tourism does, the municipal and the provincial tourism boards. They really are like, they just are so desperate for South Africans to experience South Africa, and they're making it possible, and it's an incredible partnership we have with them. And I mean, from Cindy's side, she'll talk to the incredible relationships and what we're going to do to just really make travel possible.
December is here. We can breathe a sigh of relief, and we can go out and explore. The weather is going to be amazing. What can we get up to this December, Cindy? What do you recommend?
Basically, the campaign that we have, or what we will be driving, is to obviously to cater to everyone's needs. So we'll be focusing on the hotspots, which would be where all the demand lies. Try and get in there and put packages together, because we know that is what people will be looking for. But at the same time, we would be, offering packages available in other destinations in South Africa that are the hidden gems and off the beaten track, so that South Africans can see that and see the potential that our country has to offer.
Can you maybe highlight one or two that excite you? Which would you say are the most exciting?
Quite recently, I travelled to KwaZulu-Natal and we did St. Lucia and the Elephant Coast, and that's absolutely, we did a boat cruise where we did hippo spotting, and that was amazing. And recently, we went to the Eastern Cape to the Wild Coast, and we did a hike from Coffee Bay to Hole in the Wall. And that was...
Preach it.
Absolutely, that was...
Out of all of the places I've been, and I've been lucky enough to travel the world, Coffee Bay and the Hole in the Wall changed me. It actually changed my perception of what it is to live where we live. The Transkei is phenomenal.
It's really something special.
To see rural life in that way, just amazing
Couple
stuff.
of cows on a beach, you know.
I get you.
Living the dream.
So, Linda, obviously, economics is a massive barrier to travel. I think most of us will find it difficult to justify traveling when we look at the economics of it all, but it surely is much cheaper to travel locally.
Completely and utterly, and you know, the airlines are all very competitive and are all at the same time also determined to get people onto planes. And so, I mean, I've got just a little paraphrased a little saying here.
Okay.
You wouldn't have heard it before from it's just a minor TV show, but totally paraphrased. Black Friday is coming.
Friday
so keep your eyes on the Travel Start website. Get into our newsletter, and the great deals will come up then. As I always say, and you will testify to this, Cindy, is that off-season, like out of the school holidays, that makes travel more affordable. What I would say, if you've already packed, you've already booked your flights, or even if you haven't, you know, get in touch with Cindy and Travel Start and see how you can make your holiday, even if it's in your own hometown, more exciting by one of these tours. And just see. Get out of the family home. You know, like, let's be honest, you're going to have 50 just relatives in one space. You know, just go for a hike.
The most challenging dynamic.
There we go. Go for a hike. Go a city tour.
Maybe you can inspire us with one or two of the prospective deals that we are likely to get on Black Friday and on Travel Start at the moment.
I think you're asking this for Graham and not for the benefit of the world, of the country. You know, no, look, there's some really amazing deals. We've got just both international and local that will be spectacular, discounted rates, lots of voucher campaigns going on, car hire rental that will make it cheaper to get to exciting parts of the world where you can pop them on a tour, incredible rates. Watch the space, Graham.
Watch the space. I'm going to put this to both of you because it's just hit me now that this could be the best ever gifting idea. Don't gift something, gift an experience.
Absolutely. Amen.
If I could gift you one experience, where would you go out of all of these awesome deals that you've got in the offing, these great tours? Where would you go?
I'm going to be sneaky about this one. If I was to gift it to someone, then it would definitely be one of the products that we offer at our company, Roots Africa Tours. It's called the Grand Combo, and it gives you the best of Cape Town. It takes you from the Winelands all the way to Cape Point. But if for myself specifically, I would choose a hot air balloon ride in the Pilanesberg.
Wow!
And you know, how lucky am I? Because I'm going to be here over Christmas in the Cape, so I'm going to do exactly what you've just said. I'm going to do that every day. I haven't been hot air ballooning yet, so that's maybe on my list. If we could send you anywhere to do any one thing.
Oh, I saw you had a great Kruger Park package. Just take me to the bush, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I just need to hear a lion roaring. That would be good for the soul.
I must wake you up in the morning. You must wake up and fall asleep to a lion roaring.
Exactly. And I must say, what I feel is very, very important as South Africans, we really experience, we get into the local townships. And so I would do a township tour. And actually, I would love that as a gift.
We can definitely hook you up with that.
Can you hook me up?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm excited already. I'm townshipping.
I'm starting to understand that this union, this partnership is unlocking a key. It really is giving people an opportunity to do things that might have been right in front of them this entire time, but now you get to really experience our country. Ladies, have a wonderful festive. I'm sure we're going to see you a little bit closer to Black Friday with some insanity. The deals really are off the charts, but we want to encourage all South Africans right now to go and experience, truly live our own country's hidden gems, and there are so many, and you can do it with Travel Start and Roots Africa Tours this December holiday by visiting travelstart.co.za or rootsafrica.co.za and get bookings, start creating that perfect holiday package experience. And on our next trip, consider diverting floating off the national roads to experience the sheer beauty of our land, its rich culture, the heritage, the people, the warmth and hospitality of our fellow South Africans. That is what makes us the best country in the world. Whatever you're looking for, it is here, so go out and find it.
We will turn your guilt trips into good trips. Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstar.co.za.
Well, if you're considering going dairy-free, then stay right where you are. Get your notepad out, your pen out, because nutrition scientist Zani Veldsman is here to talk about what makes soy so great, so wonderful. Zani, welcome. Good morning.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Now, I like this topic, though, because there's so much like myths around soy. Some people say it's a good alternative for protein, but is soy really good and healthy for you? Tell us.
Well, soy is actually quite rich in carbohydrates, fiber, heart-healthy polyunsaturated fatty acids. Protein is also a good source of minerals of like phosphorus, iron, and calcium, and it's also a good source of your B vitamins. It is especially a good source of protein for vegans and vegetarians.
Oh, wow.
And I know it's also grown in popularity, and it sounds like, based on what you've just said now, that it's quite nutritious, very nutritious, in fact. If I go to a grocery store now, what sort of soy products should I be looking out for? And what's available? What's out there for people looking to go dairy-free?
Yes, so best way to consume soy is in its least processed forms. So be on the lookout for unsweetened soy milk, edamame beans, miso paste, tofu, or tempeh. The more processed the product becomes, the more wary you should be. So our processed forms of soy, like soy patties, sausages, and even some soy protein powders, tend to have a lot of added ingredients, which actually dilutes the inherent goodness of soy.
Absolutely. Now, if you have to compare it with normal dairy milk, soy milk versus dairy milk, how does it then compare?
So soy milk tends to have less kilojoules than its low-fat or full-cream dairy counterparts, with a natural fat content similar to that of skim milk. Because it is plant-based, it is low in saturated fatty acids, and it is actually naturally cholesterol-free. Its calcium content is also comparable to that of cow's milk, and it has got higher calcium levels than any other plant-based milk.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. Now, we've heard, I think, in the past, the connection between soy and hormone levels. It's even gained a bit of a bad reputation based on just that conversation alone. What is the connection and the link between soy and our hormone levels?
Okay, so research has actually showed us over the past few years that with a normal intake of soy of about 1 to 3 portions a day, there's no unwanted effects on hormone levels or function. Ask what is a portion.
Can't do that.
Now, you told Thabiso to go out there and what products to get. Now, once I get the soy products, how am I actually going to use it?
All right, so you've got lots of choices. You can add soy milk to your coffee, to your tea, to cereals, and to smoothies. It is a great lactose-free substitute if you're used to using dairy-based milks. Other plant-based milks tend to separate when added to hot beverages, but soy milk stays intact, giving your coffee that nice creamy feel when you actually drink it. It is also a great dairy substitute for dairy-free pasta dishes like the family favorite lasagna, or adds great taste and texture to desserts such as custards and ice creams. Then you can also have edamame beans, which you can have as a snack. You can have it in a Buddha bowl, in a stir-fry, or in a salad. And then tofu, you can fry it, you can bake it, you can grill it, you can scramble it, and that just adds a whole world of culinary diversity to your weekly menu.
Well, I think just this conversation adds a whole world of just information and opens us up to a whole new world of dairy-free living. Zani, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, hopefully you've taken some notes over there. There you have it. It's clear that using soy milk as a dairy alternative, or simply enjoying it as part of a balanced diet, is good for you. It's a good idea, and it's so easy to use as well. So Zani, thank you so much. We hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Go get your soy life extravaganza going on.
Win a trip to London from the 12th to the 20th of November with Travelstar, Virgin Atlantic, and in the company of our local explorers, Danilo Acquisto and Akila Haron. Catch this travel fab duo on Expresso with their guide to the time of your life in London town. Vote for your favorite itinerary on the Travelstar website and put yourself in the draw for those 2 return tickets on Virgin Atlantic.
Hey, I don't know why that just makes you want to like do a Dougie. But of course, we are talking all things entertainment news right here on SABC3, your feel-good breakfast show. Now, I don't know about you, my friend, but this weekend, I've been following Twitter, and someone who's been trending is Miss Taylor Swift.
Oh,
But I feel like she's always looking for drama, though.
Well, I think it just follows her. She doesn't go out looking for it, but it seems that the name Taylor Swift and the word feud can't stay in sentences separate from each other. In July, of course, the news broke that the pop star was in a public battle with big-time music manager Scooter Braun after he purchased her former record stable Big Machine label group from previous owner Scott Borchetta, right? Now, Braun's acquisition of Big Machine means that the Swiftie, Taylor Swift, doesn't have the access to own the masters and rights to the songs from her first 6 studio albums. It's a sore point for, obviously, the musician who felt victimized by the music manager during the tough time she spent really fighting with controversial hip-hop rapper Kanye West. Okay, so there's been a lot happening. So now the Swift-Braun saga has again picked up momentum. It's back. It's literally full steam after the weekend when Taylor, as she is often known to do, took to Twitter to let her fans and the public know about the latest developments and her latest grievances in the whole matter. So in a series of text messages, images, she explains that a proposed documentary produced by a popular streaming platform and her performance at the upcoming American Music Awards, where she will receive the Artist of the Decade award, might be in jeopardy because Braun and Borchetta will not allow her to use any of her old music.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's confusing. It's really confusing. It's a big thing. Literally shut down early on Friday due to direct and hostile death threats being made to employees of the company. The Swifties, we know them. They don't play games. They will do anything for their queen.
Absolutely.
So obviously they denied Swift's allegations on the same day, releasing a statement which in part read, "At no point did we say Taylor Swift could not perform on the American Music Awards or block her documentary special. We do not have the right to keep her from performing live anywhere." In the meantime, though, many celebrities like Brendan Urie, Halsey, Ruby Rose, close friend Gigi Hadid have obviously all spoken out in support of Taylor Swift, with Gigi tweeting, "Scott and Scooter, you know what the right thing to do is." Praying hands emojis, obviously there. Taylor and her fans deserve to celebrate the music. So the only time, it seems, that we'll be able to tell how this complicated situation in which, you know, obviously reputations are at stake and bodies of work are at stake will play out is just to see what happens. We have to just sit and watch it unfold.
Now, I'm not a Swiftie, though, but I do feel bad for her because I really wanted to perform. She actually deserves to win this accolade and to perform her music. I mean, she invested time into this music. So, I mean, I just hope that it is sorted out before she goes live.
It's a big conversation to have around artists, I think, across all sorts of industries. Television and the works, they get exploited, where the artist really often doesn't own any rights to the work that they do. They get into these contracts that seek to really just decentralize them from their rights and from their talent and their output. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that unfolds. If you have seen any entertainment news that's caught your attention, we'd like to hear from you. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on Facebook.
All right, let's take you back to the movies for more animated fun. You're on an animated tip this morning, Mr. JP Sebastian, bringing you more awesome trailers, cool movies that we want to be tracking. Scoob. Give us the scoop on Scoob.
Oh, tell me you didn't love Scooby-Doo.
Who doesn't love Scooby-Doo-Doo?
The spooks and a talking dog. I don't know why they were never more suspicious about a talking dog and not so much about Daphne.
Tracy Morgan, this is a powerhouse cast.
Yeah, and for me personally, while some of those people do have voice experience, Will Forte especially, because the guy from Saturday Night Live, MacGruber, says to this cop that this dog belongs to him, but it doesn't entirely follow just like the kid's story of